So the other day over on Michael Matthews' Instagram stories, I saw this story of Tadej Pogacar doing his off-season core training and reaction training. So the time of the year at the moment for pros, coming into December, they'll be coming out of their off-season, most of them starting to ride on the road again. Coming up, they'll probably have media camps, team camps, and things like that. So this training that Pogacar's doing now would be a staple in his off-season. Now, there's a few things going on here which I'll get into, explaining whether this might be useful or not and why he might be doing it. So there's essentially, obviously, there's two parts here. There's the actual plank that he's doing in terms of working on his muscular endurance and stability through his core and his hips. Then there's obviously the reaction training. Now, core training, would this be moving the needle much for Pogacar? Probably not. Like a World Tour level cyclist should already be able to hold a plank for a decent amount of time. This would probably be more of a maintenance thing for the off-season. I do like, though, actually doing this reaction training where he's moving his hands is good because, as I said, for a World Tour pro to be holding a plank should be piss easy. And he's actually making this easier by having his feet further apart. So his form's actually not that great. As I said, yeah, his form's actually not that great. With his feet wider apart, that's actually making the plank in and of itself easier. His hips are rocking and rolling a bit from side to side. So actual form, not great. But in terms of actually making the stimulus on his core and his hips better, I do like this because we know like variations to a plank, like lifting one foot, then the other foot, moving from a elbows on the ground position to like a push-up position, just having either movement of the feet and or the upper body to overload the actual plank exercise is good. Now let's get into this. So it said well done there, so his reaction time must be pretty good. So you can see here what he's doing is he has to hit the blue light as they come on. So this thing's testing his reaction time. So you see there, tapping blue light, blue light, blue light. Now, reaction time is obviously important in season for a cyclist in the bunch. It's obviously not the be all and end all, but you have to have good focus and good reaction time in the bunch, reacting to riders beside you, riders in front of you, the wheels going on, traffic, furniture. There's a whole lot of crap that goes on in the bunch that he's going to have good reaction time to. And this is probably a good way to maintain that throughout the off season. Probably not moving the needle heaps, but it's definitely, but it would be worth doing. But this brings up something, and the main reason I wanted to do this video, because it brings up a discussion around whether you should do something or not, whether that's training-wise, nutrition-wise, anything related to cycling. My thing with this whole plank with your action time thing is that there's no downsides to adding this in. What's the worst that could happen by him adding this in? Maybe he wastes 5 minutes at the end of his strength session doing this sort of plank reaction time thing, which potentially might not be moving the needle at all in terms of his reaction time or his core strength. But there's no downside to that. And that's the thing when thinking about whether you should do something or not, is I would say before you even look at whether it works. So the classic example for me is the altitude tents, sleeping in altitude tents or doing altitude camps and things like that. Before you even have a discussion around whether it works or not, you first need to look at what are the potential downsides of doing this. If I go and do this, is this potentially dangerous or is there a negative cost associated with it? In terms of the altitude tents thing, it affects your sleep, you don't recover as fast, and if you're not managing that very well, just doing the altitude tent sleeping thing could have a massive decrement on your performance. So in something that you're potentially doing it for a very small couple of % gain, you're potentially throwing out much larger chunks if you don't do it right. So just to bring it back home to this sort of reaction time core thing, there's the potential that this is doing absolutely nothing, and if he didn't do this at all, it would make absolutely no difference to his season whatsoever. That could be argued, but I would say there's no downside to doing this. Bit of fun, a fun way to do your planks, make the time go quicker, no downside. So just whenever you're looking at whether something's useful or not, and whether it could benefit your cycling, really also look in what are the potential downsides of that and get a more holistic view. I think we always focus on what can I do to improve, what could help, what works, what's proven, that sort of thing. Yeah, just would like people to look at the downsides of things a little bit more. So yeah, overall, I think this is pretty cool. Fun thing to do at the end of a gym session. I would like to think he's doing other heavier, more strength-related things in this session, which I'm guessing is doing because he's in a gym. The other thing we can say here is exercising in your bib shorts. Not convinced. If you're a cyclist, if you're in the gym, I would say just run regular shorts. Going to the gym with your chamois on is a big call. Maybe he got back from a ride or an indoor session. He's doing this, so we'll give him a pass. But yeah, let's stick to shorts and t-shirts for the gym. Ban jerseys and ban bib shorts from the gym, I say. Anyway, that's it, guys. I'll end the video there. Hope you got something out of it. I'll catch you in the next one.